So in this video, I want to explain more about what retargeting is, kind of start from the ground up and go through the left side of the mind map here. And so we'll start with what is retargeting and how does it work. And I'll explain it a couple different ways throughout the training, but let's look at it this way first. Google has a magic box that almost everybody in the world, except for a few Microsoft employees, go to and type in exactly what they want to buy, where they want to travel, what kind of content they're interested in. And that type of data is called intent data, and it is the most powerful data to use for ad targeting. It's the online equivalent of somebody raising their hand and saying, hey, I'm interested in your product. When you run a search campaign with Google, what you are doing is buying Google intent data. Google is essentially a machine for capturing intent, and AdWords is the interface for selling it to advertisers. And so retargeting works so well because it leverages that same type of data, that intent data. However, instead of somebody typing into a box what they're interested in, they're expressing that intent by behaviors they exhibit on your site. That might be visiting a product page, or starting to fill out a lead form, or putting something in their shopping cart. People online seldomly visit a site and immediately complete their purchase in the first visit, or submit their info on the first visit, or whatever that business is hoping to capture. People shop around, they price compare, they look at competitors, and they just get distracted. Their phone rings, the cat jumps on their lap, they got to go answer the door. And that's where retargeting comes in. With retargeting, marketers are able to tap into their intent data and target ads very specifically to people who have raised their hand and said, hey, we're interested in your product, but need to be followed up on before we're won over as customers. And so let's look at the facts on that. And so 98% of people who visit your website leave without making a conversion. And if you're an awesome internet marketer, you're getting 6%, you're getting 15%, but very rarely does it go over that. The average is 2% of people convert. So it's like, what happens to that other 98%? Well, that's where retargeting comes in. 70% of people abandon their shopping cart without completing the purchase. And so you'll see that with Amazon. They've been doing it for a long time, where you're looking at a product over there, you don't end up buying the product, but you go to another website, and then all of a sudden that product shows up on the same website, and you're like, how they know that about me? That is because they are retargeting. And so with perfect audience clients are seeing a $10 in sale for every $1 that they spend. And that's when you get your campaign really cranking. You can get awesome returns. And so if you're using display ads or you're selling display ads, retargeting is a perfect pairing. You will see 2 to 3 times higher conversion rates versus not using retargeting with display ads. So another way to explain it is retargeting is like having a mailing list of your website visitors. 100% opt-in, and instead of getting that 2% opt-in, we're getting 100, because we are putting a cookie on everybody's browser that comes to the website, and then we're able to follow them around the internet, continuing to show them ads. And so every time they see one of your ads, every impression is building your brand and your relationship with that person. I believe the latest studies that I've read is saying something like it takes 7 impressions to get somebody from never hearing about you to buying from you, and retargeting can really help you do that. It's like a great salesperson doing prospecting and follow-up. You very rarely get the sell on the first cold call, but I mean, if you continue to call and do that follow-up, send those emails, your rate goes much higher, and this is kind of the internet's version of a great salesman. And so conversion goals. This is your call to action, what you want somebody to do on your site. Do you want them to sign up for that email list? Do you want them to submit that contact form? Do you want them to opt in for that newsletter? Do you want them to fill out that application? Do you want them to register for that account? Do you want them to submit that lead form? Do you want them to purchase that product online? This is something that we cover more in the advance, but retargeting can help you do every one of these. Core functions. This is where we get into exactly what retargeting is. Prior to this, I was explaining you guys the opportunities and what it can be used for. But this is what retargeting is. It's tagging the people that visit your website. And the way we're tagging them is by using a cookie, which is also referred to as a smart pixel. And we're putting that in their browser, which allows us to track them around the internet. And we're tracking them around the internet by using the major ad networks. And what we're doing is we're showing them ads that we've put together specifically for actions that they've taken back on our website. And so we're showing them our brand, we're showing them our offer again, and we're doing that through display ads. And that is to get them to return and convert into whatever action we want them to take. Types of retargeting. We have website retargeting, which is the one that I just explained to you above, where they come to your website, they get a cookie put on their browser, and then we follow them around the internet. There's also Facebook retargeting that we have a whole section on, which is they've come to your website and now we're retargeting them on Facebook. And then we have email retargeting, which is awesome because people don't even have to come to your website. It's you sending them an email, and if they open that email, then they get cookied. And so you can use that for individual emails. It comes in very handy when you're prospecting and the prospect hasn't even been to your website yet. And so that is what we built our Target Echo software around, and we gave you guys access to that, and it'll allow you to build a signature with a cookie inside of it. And so we have a whole section around that, and we'll cover more in detail over there. CRM is more so if you have a huge CRM, and then you can import all those people into Perfect Audience, and then it will start cooking them straight from there. But you have to have a huge one. I believe the cutoff's right around 100,000. But you can do that with Facebook with much less. I believe it's right around 100 that you need in order to do it over in Facebook, but then you can only retarget them in Facebook. Dynamic is more e-commerce, and we're going to cover that in the advanced version. And the last one we're going to touch on in this training is search retargeting. And in the advanced training, we have a couple videos that show you how to set it up inside AdWords. But the ROI on this one is nowhere near the others, so we don't spend much time on it. But in this tactic, you're basically showing display ads to people that have searched for a certain term on a search engine or another web publication. And so the best use of it I've seen is running it for your competition, setting up the ads to where if somebody searches for your competition, they will also see your ads following them around the internet. But outside of that, it has some catching up to do. So for platform setup, we have a section built out on how to set up each one of these platforms inside the training, and then in the advanced we have sections on how to go more in depth on each one of those platforms. But the four basic things that you need to do inside each platform is create the account, and then set up a list, and then do segments, which we talk much more about in the advanced training. And so once you have the list and the account, then you have to put the smart pixel on your website. And then the last thing is just create the ads, because once you put the pixel on your website, it starts counting, and once it gets to 1,000, it'll start serving those ads as long as you have some things done. But we talk about each one of those inside that section on the platform. So for building traffic, for Perfect Audience and ad roll, you need 1,000 unique cookies. You need it to serve cookies to 1,000 people before it will start serving your ads. And so there's a couple ways to get to that 1,000. If you have an email list, you'll probably want to put that retargeting pixel on there and then send out a blast to get people to come back to your email. Or if you're doing the email retargeting, then you want to put the pixel in your email and then do the blast just to bump those numbers up to 1,000 so that website will start serving those ads. Inside Facebook, it does not need to hit 1,000. And so one of the techniques you could do is kind of set it up inside Facebook and inside Perfect Audience. And of course, it'll start serving inside Facebook first, and then it'll eventually start serving on inside Perfect Audience, which will distribute it through the ad networks all around the internet. And with AdWords, it's a little bit different, but we cover that in the AdWords section. Which brings us to the last tab here, and that's the Target Echo email system. And we gave you guys free access to this, and basically it builds an email signature which not only makes you look more professional, but it puts that cookie inside your email signature. So once you put that into Outlook, you can start sending people emails, and once they open them, then they will be cookied. And one of kind of the more advanced techniques would be, if you have different divisions, if your company is big enough to have different divisions, then you can put the same cookie in everybody's division. Say in the business development, you can put the same cookie in everybody's email signature for sales, and then they start building that list up together, so you have 5 or 6 people building up that list of 1,000 rather than just one person building up that list of 1,000. But then you can serve the same ads to everybody inside that department. And so it'll come in very handy in prospecting and getting the brand out there. And we'll have more training on this inside the website as well. And now that we made it to the left side of the mind map, I recommend you guys take action and go to that core training section and go through that perfect audience training. We walk you through step by step on how to set up your account, how to make those lists, how to put the pixel in your website, and then how to create those ads, and then have that list start building. And then you can go through the Facebook part as well and set up that step by step. We walk you through that, and then those ads will start serving pretty much immediately, those Facebook ads, and then these perfect audience ads will start serving once you hit 1,000 cookies. I look forward to seeing you guys over there, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the advanced training. Hey, Andrew Hill here with Retarget Master, and in this module we want to walk you through the core fundamentals of AdRoll and show you how to set up your account for the first time. So what you're going to want to do is just go to adroll.com, which will bring you to this page, and then you click Try It Out. That'll bring you to this page where you just put in your primary email address, you put in your website URL, put in your password, confirm your password. And now that we have that information in there, we're just going to want to click How did you find us? So we'll say friend, and then we'll say create my first account. Which brings us to this page where you can either choose the general websites or on Facebook, but we have a whole module about doing it straight through Facebook, so we will just go to Get Started. And that brings us here where we create our first retargeting campaign. See you guys in the next video. Hey, Andrew Hill here. In this video I want to talk about AdRoll's policies, because we don't want to get too deep into this. We don't want to create these campaigns and all these ads and set everything up and then realize that either we're not allowed to advertise through AdRoll, or our site is missing a couple components that we need in order to use retargeting through AdRoll. So what we're going to want to do is just right here from the home page, just scroll to the bottom and click on Support Center, and that will bring you to this page, which is their frequently asked questions. And so I mean, you guys can go through this if you'd like to. 2 pages that I wanted to touch on really quickly was one that is the site requirements. And so in the site requirements we can see that what we need as far as the structure of our website, the navigation. You keep scrolling down and we see landing page requirements in order to retarget back to landing pages. We see eligibility guidelines. And so this gets into ad publishers, affiliates, aggregators, what they think about airsoft guns, alcohol, blogs and forums, cosmetic surgery, educational, academic ads, financial services, health supplements, lead generation, lingerie, marketing, medical devices, online dating, online gambling and gaming, penny auctions, personal promotion, political campaigns. And so they give you their views on all of this. And so if you are not up to par with what they have saying over here, then it might not be worth your time to do retargeting, or at least to do retargeting through AdRoll. So I highly recommend that you go through this page. The second page I'd recommend is the creative guidelines. And inside the creative guidelines, they give you everything you need to know as far as like the ad size, web retargeting. They have all the ad sizes for that. You scroll down, they have Facebook retargeting and kind of the different sizes of ads that you need for Facebook retargeting, but we cover Facebook in the Facebook module. So really this page is just about the web retargeting. So to give you just a broad overview of a couple things that you need any landing page that you're driving people to, you need two links on it, and one is the privacy policy, and the second is you need to have a link back to the home page. And the home page can't be under development or coming soon. It has to be a real home page with content on it and linked to other pages with content on them. And the reason for this is that AdRoll is working with over 60 ad networks, and in order for them to get your ads approved on those 60 networks, they have to abide by these guidelines. And so for the landing pages, one thing that we use is lead pages, and there's a link for it below this, and there's also in our resources. But these guys have put a lot of time and effort and resources into building highly converting landing pages. They've done a lot of A/B testing, and for a low monthly fee, they will give you the ability to use all of their landing pages. If you got WordPress, it ties in nicely with that. And so for the privacy policy, we use this website right here, and there's a link below this video to this as well as our resources, but they will allow you to set up a privacy policy for your website, for your Facebook apps, for your mobile apps, and basically they will give you the first one for free. If you need more than one, there is a fee for that, but we recommend these guys for privacy policy and lead pages for landing pages. See you guys on the next video. So in this video, I want to pick up where we left off on the first video and show you guys how to set up your smart pixel, which is basically the code that you put on your website that cookies everybody that comes to your website, so then you can follow them around the internet. And so we just go down here and we click set up AdRoll pixel, and then here is that code right there. And so they're saying copy that and put it before the closing body tag on your website. So of course if you have HTML, you have to put it on each one of those pages. If you have WordPress, then there's a plugin for that. If you have Drupal, then there's a module for that. And so if you have a web developer, you can just email it to them. If not, then just hit copy, get all that code, and post it on your website. And then it will start recording. And this is where it has to cookie 1,000 people before it will start submitting ads. So what you want to do is get this on your website immediately and take advantage of that traffic that is coming to your website right now. See you guys on the next video. Hey, Andrew Hill here, and in this video I want to talk to you guys about creating a campaign. And the first time that you sign in for AdRoll, they give you this $60 free trial. It lasts 2 weeks or $60. Under Perfect Audience, we guys got you the $120, so you get twice as much value over there. But for this first one, you just gonna want to put your campaign name in here, and then you want to schedule kind of the time it starts, the time it ends, and then here you can either say worldwide, United States, or kind of custom locations if you want to kind of dive deeper into different parts of the US. And so on this one, they don't have the ad budget, which moving forward, all the other campaigns you will do have that ad budget, so we'll jump over to that in a second. But basically you just want to create your first trial campaign, and then once you do that, you hit next step, and then you upload your ads, and then the next step would be for them to review it, and upon them reviewing it would allow it to go live. And so remember that you have to pixel 1,000 people. So it's like you might set it for immediately, but it will not start immediately. It'll start upon hitting that 1,000. So let's go to where it'll look like after you get through that free trial. So we hit enter dashboard, And that will bring us here to where you'll have your dashboard of all the different campaigns. You'll have your ad library up there. You'll have your visitor data here. And so if we want to create a new campaign, we got the welcome screen right here, but over here this will always be on the right, and so we can create new campaign here, upload ads there, Facebook ads, mobile segmenting visitors, which we cover more in the advanced version. Facebook we have in the Facebook module. And so we just hit create new campaign, and then that brings us back to this screen that we've already seen. And so we want to say general websites, and then here you see the weekly budget, and so they're saying a minimum of $25 a budget to run this. And so you want to put, we'll just set up this campaign for Retarget Master, and then we will say we'll do the $25 a month budget, and then we just set the dates. And so we got our dates in there worldwide, and then we go next step, which brings us to the next step of target visitors. And this is where the data from your pixel will come. So I mean, it's once you got the smart pixel in the website and it's starting to record, you'll see your different ad segments here. We get more into dividing up the ad segments in the advanced training. That part is here. We say choose existing, and then we want all visitors. So we'll say yes to all visitors, and then we'll say finished. And so that adds the ad segment here, and then we go next step where we want to upload our ad. And so here we have the most common sizes, which is the 160 by 600 running down the right hand side. We have the 728 by 90, which is usually the billboard across the top, and then we have the 300 by 225, which is usually on the right side as well. And so you want to upload your ads to here by just hitting add ads, and then you can either choose from the library if you had them there, or you can upload them. To upload those ads, you can just drag from a folder onto here, or you can choose a file straight off your desktop. And then once you have those ads uploaded, then the next step is just for them to review. So that's just the process of waiting for them to do it. It usually takes about 24 hours, sometimes a lot quicker. But upon them reviewing your ad, it will go live as long as you do have those 1,000 cookies in place. See you guys in the next video. Hey, this is Andrew Hill again, and in this video I want to talk to you guys more about creating your ads. And so the difference kind of in between perfect audience and ad roll is here we see kind of the requirements for the ads when setting up that campaign, and we kind of touched a little bit upon that in the prior video. But the file size must be less than 45K, and so it's like if you do a really good looking ad, you usually have to bring the quality way down to get it under 45K. Perfect audience allows it to be up to 70K, so you can get away with a better quality ad through perfect audience. The ad cannot be animated for more than 30 seconds. All ads must have borders, so they're a little more strict about their requirements. If you want to dive deeper into that, you can click right here. So back to the creative guidelines, you see right here that they only accept JPEGs, GIF, or SWIFT files. The size must be less than 45K, which perfect audience is 70K. And then here we see the kind of main sizes of that, and so these are the most common ones. That you'll have the medium rectangle, which is 300 by 250 pixels. You'll have the leaderboard, which runs across the top, and that is 728 by 900. Then you got the wide skyscraper, which is 160 by 600, and then you got the large rectangle, which is 300 by 600. And so if you have a good web designer or a good graphic designer, by all means use them. Under this video we have a couple resources that do great jobs at creating ads, and they're relatively cheap. And then a third option for you guys of getting these ads creative is a done for you service, that where we kind of take all this over for you and run it and get those ads created and segment everything for you. So 3 options for you there as far as getting these things made. I mean, as we scroll down, and so for additional requirements, the restrictions are 30 seconds at a 15 to 20 frames per second rate, And then here, any ads featuring a white or black border are required to have a 1-pixel border to distinguish the color around the perimeter of the ad to separate it from the rest of the page of the content. And then they have some requirements on the destination URL as far as web banners, and it cannot be linked to a third-party vendor. Banners cannot link directly into a payment processor. So these are all things that will stop your ad campaign from going through in the review. See you guys in the next video.
Hey everyone, it's Josh Lannon here with Retarget Master, and I just want to take this opportunity to let you guys know how excited I am to be the one going through the Facebook retargeting section. In this video, we're just going to really quickly be going over what's going to be coming up in the upcoming videos for the modules, but I also wanted to take just a moment to hop up on a soapbox and talk a little bit about what the opportunity is with Facebook right now. And I say that there's never been a better time to be in Facebook marketing, specifically retargeting, because it seems like I always miss the good old days. The good old days were just before I got to wherever I'm going. And I think right now, when you take into account where Facebook is as a marketing platform, still the costs are relatively low as compared to a lot of other pay-per-click advertising options that are out there. And then you put on top of that the ability to do conversion tracking, conversion optimization, and retargeting, and the different aspects of retargeting, and it just becomes a very, very powerful multi-part marketing platform, and you really get the bang for your buck right now. Who knows what the future will bring, but I do feel we're kind of in the good old days right now of Facebook marketing. So that said, congratulations on being part of this training. I think you're going to get a lot out of it. We have this core training, and then we also have our advanced training. But what we're going to go through in the upcoming modules specifically for Facebook retargeting are: what is Facebook retargeting? We're just going to do a really quick module just in case you guys haven't come across it by now. What are the aspects of Facebook retargeting, often also called remarketing? We're also going to go over why you should be using it, what are the reasons, and especially if you're a local marketer, if you're talking to a client about it, and you can use these same talk tracks of why anyone should be using it, what are the benefits of it, and then the proper way to use it. I think a lot of people kind of have heard here and there that retargeting is where you should be, and they kind of jumped in, rolled up their sleeves, and tried to figure it out. And for the most part, you know, there are some pretty easy aspects to it, but Facebook marketing in and of itself isn't that easy. It's a moving target. There's a lot to it. They're constantly changing it. As I was making these videos, they started changing some things that I'm gonna have to go in and re-record. So that being said, you know, it's nice to be able to have a resource such as this training and some of our other resources to be able to stay on the cutting edge and know the proper way of using it. And then we'll go into really quickly, or maybe a little bit more in depth, of how to create the audience. There's a lot of different audience options within Facebook retargeting, and so we'll just dive into several of those that apply. And then how to create the ad. We'll do a quick once over on creating the ad using the Facebook retargeting platform. And then also how to track and report. We'll go over a basic report structure, which is some of the things that they've been doing some updates on. But the reporting and tracking are extremely important, as you can imagine, especially if you're doing this for clients. And then finally, some basic sales ideas. We'll go through just a couple of things that we talk about when we're selling retargeting. If you want to get into a little bit more of that tracking and reporting, and a little bit more, a lot more of the sales resources and strategies, if you haven't gotten our advanced training, that's really what we delve deep into in the advanced training. So you should definitely check that out. So that's what we're going to be covering in a nutshell. I look forward to going through these additional videos with you all, and I will see you in the next video when we talk about what is Facebook retargeting. All right, talk to you then. Hey everybody, Josh Lannon here again with Retarget Master, and wanted to welcome you again to the second video in the module called What is Facebook Retargeting? For a lot of you, this is going to be straight refresher course stuff, but we wanted to be fair and make sure that we had gone on record for our definition of Facebook retargeting. And you never know, if you're a local marketer, this might give you some insight as to how to explain Facebook retargeting to a potential client when you get that question. So we'll just jump on in. Facebook retargeting is the ability to place a cookie on a person's browser after they have come to a page that you control, that you can put the script on. So basically, you're given a script that you can put in the header code of any page that you have control over, be it a Shopify e-commerce store or a WordPress site, or we do a lot of work with lead pages as a straight landing page, a hosted landing page. All of those things you have control over, and you have the ability to place that code on. Now, we've been working on a lot of other things, like if you, as part of this program, you guys got free access to our Target Echo software, which allows you guys to place a retargeting pixel within a signature that you can then place into an email. And so that's one other way that you can get somebody cookied, as well as we have this really exciting software that allows you to redirect links. So any link that you have, you're then able to get people put on a retargeting list. But for the sake of this definition, let's go ahead and just say it's a website that people come to. And then we place a cookie on those people. So person shows up at your site, we then tag them with what's called a cookie, and then we're able to follow them across the internet. Any place that they go, their browser has now been cookied by our retargeting software or by the Facebook retargeting software. And you now have the ability to place your ads in Facebook, and it's a much, much higher conversion rate, much better cost, and all those good things that we talked about before. Now, I will say that there's a couple of different people might ask you about these two different aspects of retargeting through Facebook. So there's two different exchanges, basically. There's FBX, which is the Facebook exchange. This is where you use third-party software applications like Perfect Audience and AdRoll. We've already gone through this piece and some other modules within the training. But then what we're going to be talking about through the Facebook modules is something called website custom audiences. You guys have probably already come across these and created some, but that's really where we're going to dive deeper. This is where you use Facebook itself to create the custom audiences. It's fairly easy, from an actual functional standpoint. You can do it within the regular ads manager or within Power Editor. And you can save yourself the cost of having to go through a third-party service like Perfect Audience or AdRoll. I still really like Perfect Audience and AdRoll a lot. We use Perfect Audience in our business a lot. It goes back to kind of convenience and cost. So I absolutely believe, though, that you could do everything directly through Facebook, through website custom audiences, have very, very successful retargeting campaigns for your business and for your clients. And so that's what we're going to be talking about in the next few videos. I will see you guys in the next video, where I just talk a little bit about why using Facebook retargeting is important. It's one of the shorter videos, I promise, and then we're going to jump right into some over-the-shoulder stuff so we can really sink our teeth into the retargeting system in Facebook. All right, see you guys in that next video. Hey everyone, it's Josh Lannon again with Retarget Master, and we're here in a video where we're going to talk about why every local marketer should be using Facebook retargeting, or why every marketer in general should be using Facebook retargeting. So to jump into that, we're just going to go over a few statistics and just broad overviews, and then I promise you in the next video we're going to be diving into some over-the-shoulder training where you actually see us put some stuff together within the Facebook retargeting system. But why should everybody be using it? Mainly, one of the first things really is intent to purchase. This is actually from QuickSprout. 49% of individuals visit a site 2 to 4 times prior to purchasing. But as they've visited that first time, you've already paid good money to get them from Facebook to come to your website. At that point, you can leverage that by putting the cookie on their browser, and now you can get them back for that second time or that third time or that fourth time that gets them to make that purchase. But they've already raised their hand and said, hey, I'm interested. They wouldn't have clicked the ad and visited the site. Also, just a million things come up in our lives, and maybe you had the best of intentions of taking you up on that offer or buying that thing, but whatever happened, and now you're getting that second chance at the apple. And I think that it's just an amazing time that we have this ability that is so easy to set up and easy to use. And we have all of these different resources, including just the general Facebook retargeting platform to do it. So please know that if you are selling any type of service, any type of product, any type of coaching or thought leadership or whatever it might be, or your clients. You know, we've done this with chiropractors, dentists, roofers, people that are in life coaching, you know, whatever it might be, films. So we've done this all across several different niches. It's so effective. And so please know that, hey, these people have money in their hand, they have their credit card out. It's just giving that additional nudge to put them over the edge. The other piece is better conversion rates. And this is just, this is another quick sprout statistic, but better conversion rates, I've seen it across the board every time. When I have a general ad and then I have my retargeting ad set up, it's, according to QuickSprout, 30% of remarketing clicks lead to purchases. And that is profound. I mean, that is a huge number for clicks to purchase. And so please know, you know, these things work. More cost effective. You know, we all have to either, you know, if we're doing these for our own agencies or for our own internal projects, we want to protect our money. And we also want to be able to protect our clients' money, because we get better results the more people who see the ads, the more people who are better targeted who see the ads. We're going to get better cost-effective ad campaigns. And so regardless of these are for you, for clients, we really show better click-throughs. And with better click-throughs in Facebook comes lower cost per click. And so that's why we say it's definitely more cost-effective. And that's why you can explain it to your clients in that way. And then finally, short-term results for clients. This is kind of my ace in the hole, or the ace up my sleeve. Whenever I have a client that has either a good Facebook page, a good email list of buyers, the ability to create audiences that I know will get us short-term results, this is typically my foot in the door strategy with them. And we found it works again and again and again. You don't have to have a high ad budget for it. You can set up just your basic retargeting system for one offer and put some, you know, $50 behind it. And then you can actually show them the direct results by tracking. And then they feel really good about bringing you on board. It takes care of that buyer's remorse issue that sometimes comes up. And so they then say those magic words that are, oh, that worked out great. Now what can we do? What's the next thing, right? And that's what we all want to hear from our clients is, thank you, that worked, it was great. What else do you have for me? So that brings us to the close of this video. Just wanted to go over some kind of broad terms here and some broad ideas. In the next, we're going to talk about setting up the audiences and setting up the ads. And so I look forward to seeing you in that video where we actually jump into the platform. And enough of this PowerPoint stuff. Let's get in there and roll our sleeves up and get to work. See you guys in that next video. Thanks. Hey everyone, it's Josh Lannon, and welcome back to our Retarget Master training. Today I'm really excited because we're not doing these PowerPoints anymore. You can tell by the quality of my PowerPoint slides that I'm not a big fan of PowerPoint. I'd rather just be in Facebook creating some ads. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're just going to show you kind of how to get into Facebook from the core training standpoint, into the retargeting section of Facebook, and then also how to create some audiences and ads and stuff like that. So in this one, it's really just getting in and creating the audience and where the audiences are found. And so if you go to your Facebook homepage and then you go to your left-hand side and click on Ads Manager, you can also do this through Power Editor, but Power Editor is a bit of a more advanced strategy. So here we're just going to keep it kind of first level and go through the Ads Manager. But if you click here, you see on the left-hand side at the very bottom, you have audiences. If you click on that, it brings you over to, eventually, it brings you over to your audience list. And you can create several different types of audiences. And so for today, we're just going to come to this little upper right-hand corner button, Create Audience, and click on that. And it brings you to the 3 different types of audiences you can create. So the first one is Custom Audience. It's the one that we're going to be focusing on today. And it's the first level of creating audiences for us. The second is a lookalike audience. Lookalike audiences are extremely powerful because they basically leverage the knowledge of demographics, psychographics that Facebook has, and allows you to create another audience that's much larger, oftentimes in the 2 million to 10 million range, depending on how you set it up. And it allows you to take things like, especially buyers lists. If I have a customer who has a buyers list, I will upload that buyers list and then be able to create a lookalike audience. And Facebook really, really knows who those people are and who they look like. And so we can do a lot with double layering on a lookalike audience and a targeting list. So we get into that a bit more in advanced. But I highly recommend you guys play around with lookalike audiences with some of the custom audiences that you create. And then there's also Save Target Group. Save Target Group is basically just creating a pre-made target list so that you don't have to go in and continually redo your targeting within every Facebook ad. This is something that I wish I'd do more of. It's, there's a lot of typical targeting that I could create a saved target group for rather than recreating it every time. And so I really like doing this. I have done this before using the Audience Insights tool, which is a whole nother training for another day. But if you guys have played around with that, you can always save those Audience Insights target groups. And it just saves you more time and gets you more organized, which is a good thing. So going back to the task at hand, though, we're talking today about custom audiences. So we're going to click on custom audience. And it's going to bring up the pop-up box. And they've kind of been updating the look and feel of this to make it more user-friendly. I like the way it's set up now. So you have a couple different ways of doing this. You have your customer list. Customer list would be something like emails, phone numbers, user IDs, mobile. A lot of people kind of got in trouble for creating some of these user ID lists using some scrapers and things like that, which is an absolute no-no right now. But very, very well thought out strategy for local marketers. And this is what we do is we ask our clients when we start the retargeting conversation or just even the Facebook advertising conversation, what does your buyers list look like? Do you have them as emails? Do you have them as phone numbers? What other lead lists do you have that might be good emails? And what happens is Facebook, you can then upload these lists into Facebook. Facebook will then match their emails within Facebook. And so you, of course, you have a list of 5,000 people. You're not going to have an audience of 5,000 people, but you'll have a pretty good chunk of that actually do match up with emails, phone numbers as well, depending on if when people set up their Facebook, they're doing their cell phone numbers or their work phone numbers versus their home phone numbers. But definitely something to test out. If you have both options of emails and phone numbers, try uploading both of them and see which one sticks more, which one gets you the better audience. I don't really use Facebook user IDs anymore for this, and mobile advertisers, you can do some tricky stuff through a mobile app, and we will definitely not be talking about that today. And then the other side is website traffic, which is definitely what we're going to be talking about today. The last is app activity. That's more for developers of apps, and that'll be something that we don't focus on. I think most people, 90% of the people are doing customer lists and website traffic, if not more. So as we click on website traffic, this takes us right to the core of creating your audience. And it's pretty straightforward, but you have a bunch of different options here. You can do anyone who visits your website, people who visit specific web pages, meaning that if there was, for example, on some of our e-commerce stores, we have, we want to know who visited a specific page for a specific product. And so we can click here and put the URL of that specific page or the domain, or we can map it. And we can also do the same with people visiting one web page but not others. It might be something specific like maybe you want to focus on people that visit your employment page but not your products page. You're looking for people that are looking for a job but not browsing your products or something like that. And then people who haven't visited in a certain amount of time, this is a great kind of re-engage platform. Well, we'll jump into that in just a moment. I will show you how each one of these looks. So anyone who visits your website, the first one is the first other option is how long has it been, or how long do you want them on your list? And so we have the standard being 30 days, but we can go all the way up to 180 days. On a lot of my clients, you have to kind of think about how long you want the people on your list. On a lot of my clients, there's not a whole lot of traffic to their sites. And so we want to optimize people on the list for as long as possible. That would be for somebody who just has smaller traffic and not as many offers cycling through. So we do a lot at the 180-day cycle. They stay on our list for 180 days after they visit the page that kicks off the pixel. But if you have somebody who's a larger client, we have several of those as well, it might make more sense to do the 30 days because you look at it from the perspective of if they don't take that action within 30 days, they're probably not going to take the action for that offer. And so you'll have an opportunity to recycle other offers in front of them. But for this first 30-day period, you want to filter through the people that are the action takers and then get your new section of 30-day pixelated users in, so you can then put the offer in front of them. And so 30 days is a popular method for people that have a lot of traffic. And then the include past website traffic, that's basically if you want to focus on people that have been at your website in the past. There might be some situations where you don't want to do this, where you might untick this box, but I've always used it. One example might be if you have a lot of your previous traffic was untargeted traffic. If you had your team in working on certain sites or something like that, or if you had done an update and it was a different type of product now than it was before. But from my experience, I've used it almost every time. And so then you go in and create your audience name. You want to make sure that it's clear. So in this case, we're going to put Retarget Master general site. And you also might want to add a description just so that people that are on your team might know, or you might remind yourself what that audience was all about. So I'm just going to put all users who land on the main RM page. We'll just do that with my fast typing. Then we go to create the audience. With this one, I'm actually going to go ahead and do it at 180. And then you go to create audience. And then you'll be able to see right up here, we have our audience. It's not ready. Basically, if it's anything under 20 to 40 users, it'll come up as not ready. But then all of a sudden you'll start seeing you have 60 or 100, or it kind of rounds up to the next round number. But let's go back in and talk about some of these other setups really quick. Right here, we can do the same thing, but we can do for people who visit specific pages. And you can click and you can do it by the URL either equals or contains. And so if you're doing a very specific page, you would just put URL equals and you would paste the domain or the keywords right in there. If it's contains, maybe you have a category of products or something like that, or a specific couple pages that all have the same URL keyword in it, having to do with video marketing or something like that. You can drop that in here, just the keywords. You don't have to put the whole domain, and it'll find it that way. If we go back to this option that is URL contains these keywords but not others, you can actually put in the whole URL under the equals. But oftentimes in this, you're going to put contains for at least one of the options. And so it might be this URL but doesn't have these keywords. And then the same actually time frame and website traffic applies, and you just create that ad. There's also people who haven't visited in a certain amount of time. So 30 days is a great one here. And you can create an ad that just says, hey, we haven't seen you in a month. Here's 10% off, come back and visit, or 20% off, or here's free shipping, come back and visit, or have you seen our newest offer for January, or whatever it might be. So this is kind of cool. It gives you that kind of re-engage opportunity, and you can do that again up to 180 days, from anywhere from 0 to 180. And so this last one is the custom combination. It's the last option here on the scroll down screen, and this one gets a little tricky, but it's really cool. We can create some very specific criteria to have people get on the list. So the idea here is it's just basically creating some and/or conditions, and so the URL contains or equals, and then you can create and or the URL contains. You can add a new condition, or the traffic meets these conditions, and this, or, and so you can continue to do that. We might go into some advanced training on how to do this as a bonus, but it's, basically it's not rocket science. You just need to be able to map out what you want people to what you want the URL to contain, basically what pages you want to be mapped out. And then the nice thing about this too, as we close out some of these so you can see it a little bit better, you can also add exclusions. So include all this traffic and exclude all this traffic. So man, you can really start to laser target if you have a big complicated site, maybe one of the bigger types of e-commerce sites or more of an enterprise type site. You could really dig down and create some very specific audiences here. So hopefully that didn't rattle your brain too much, but once you sit down with a piece of paper and map that out, it's really not that difficult. So then moving forward, if we go back to our audience we just created, we can now take a look at the pixel and get the pixel put on the screen on the page that we want to focus on. But before we do that, just want to click on this little tick this box here and go over to actions. And here's a couple other things you can do. So you can create a lookalike audience, you can view the pixel, you can edit, or you can delete. To create a lookalike audience, there's a country restriction and also a minimum amount of people on the list restriction. So unfortunately, you couldn't create a lookalike audience that was both United States and Canada, for example. But in this case, we'll try the United States. It brings it up. Now we have two options for that lookalike audience. We can do it either by relevancy or by larger audience. And so by choosing this 2.1 million audience, we are doing very highly targeted traffic. If we want to get more people within that group and we're going to actually do some more targeting within the ad, we can click it or move it across, anywhere within here, more relevant, more size, more relevant, more size. And so you then go to create the audience. Now, when you go to create the audience, this is going to come up. If you have less than 100 people in your source audience, there's not enough information for it to create a really good lookalike audience. The more people you have in your source, the better, because it trains Facebook who those people are and allows them to go out and find more relevant people within the lookalike audience. So hopefully, there's some basic lookalike audience training there. I use these all the time for my clients. I need to use them more for my own personal business, but it's a very unique and a valuable resource that Facebook gives us. So take advantage of it. And so then let's go back and check out that pixel. Here it is. And so you have a couple options here. You can click here and send it to your web designer, or I'm usually the guy doing this, and so I'll just click it, copy it. There's also some great information here about the pixel installation. So if you guys have any questions about installing the pixel, you can put it here. There's also something called the Facebook Pixel Helper that we're going to create a little bonus for on the advanced side. And it basically allows you to check using a Chrome extension if your page has a Facebook pixel on it, or if anybody else's page does, for that matter. So it lets you know if you're being pixeled by other guys too, which is kind of cool. It's free. It's through Chrome, which a lot of us use. And so we'll go into that a little bit more, but you can also learn about that here in the Help Center. So we then hit OK now that we have it copied, and we are going to go to our page to set it up. So here I am in the dashboard of our retargetmaster.com page, and what we have, we're actually using optimized press here, and you'll notice that a lot of themes will have some type of tracking section within the appearance of the theme. And so it makes it a lot easier from a standpoint of dropping the pixel in. So here we just paste it in. There's the script. Otherwise, if you don't have one of these hooks that you can set it up just by pasting it into the theme, you just want to go to the core code and place the theme before the end head code. And so that's typically towards the top, and or you can go to the specific head theme and that code and drop it in there just before this little script piece that you see here. And then in our case, we're just going to go down here and save it. And there we are. And so I also wanted to show you how to do it within lead pages too, because we use lead pages a ton for self-hosted landing pages. So let's hop over to lead pages. So here we are in one of our lead pages, and if you head up to the actual title of your page and click on that, click on tracking codes, and then you want to put it in the head tag tracking code and just paste it in. and save, and you're done. So that is how we do it within Lead Pages. There's, again, several different ways you can have your web designer developer drop it into individual pages. If you have e-commerce pages like Shopify, Shopify has it within their checkout page. You can drop that in. And so there's a lot of different ways to get it inside of your web pages. But the bottom line is just get it in there, start tracking people. Once you get a big enough audience, go and make a lookalike audience based on that, and then you have all kinds of options for your ad creation. So this has been one of the longer videos that we've created in this series, and so we're going to cut this one here, and we'll see you in the next video where we go into some specifics about the mindset behind ad creation for retargeting specifically, and then also we'll create a few ads and look at some ads that we've done in the past. So I will see you in the next video. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to talk about setting up your perfect audience account for the first time. You're only going to need one perfect audience account, and you can run multiple websites through it. So if you have 2 or 3 websites yourself and you want to run retargeting on all of them, you can do that straight through one account over here on Perfect Audience. And if you're running a agency and you want to run retargeting for multiple client accounts, you can do that through this one account as well. We reached out to Perfect Audience and set up a partnership to get you guys $120 credit. And so you guys can use that toward your first couple ads if you want to do some testing, or if you want to use it towards your first client. But that will be free money for you guys if you sign up through our link. The second part of signing up through our link will allow the representatives over there at Perfect Audience to know that you're a part of our program, and later down the road, if you have to reach out to our support, it'll really streamline the process of us having to find your account and fix your problem. That link is retargetmaster.com/PA120, and I will put that below the video and here on the lower thirds. But with no further ado, let's get started. So we just hit your free trial. On this page, you just want to put your work email, choose your password, put your phone number in there, and then hit sign up, which will bring you to this page where you set up your first site. It says standard websites or e-commerce, but the e-commerce only works with Shopify. So if you don't have a Shopify store, then you're going to have to go with the standard website, and any other website pretty much falls into the standard. So we're going to just say get started, and then we want our site name for the first one, and so we're going to just go ahead and type that in, and then put the URL in, and then you want to hit next, which will bring you guys to this page where you see that your first campaign is free for 2 weeks or up to $100. And when you go through our link, this will actually say $120. So you guys are paying nothing until you make it through that $120 budget, which should give you a lot of good testing, and hopefully after that you will hit the ground running. If not, make a good return prior to even making it through that $120. See you guys in the next video. In this video, I wanted to talk about the perfect audience policies, and these are really important because you don't want to spend the time and energy to learn all this stuff and to build those lists and get your tracking going, and then create those ads and go to run those ads and they don't get approved, or you get kicked out of the network after running for a few days. And so basically here are the guidelines of what you can and can't do. You can't promote any adult products, no affiliates, and they say no affiliates because they feel like it brings down the quality of traffic to their site and their partner sites. Outside of that, no alcohol, drug, tobacco, e-cigarette, steroid products, no dating advertisement, anything along those lines, no exit pop-ups or any kind of browser manipulation, no financial products, no gambling products, no weapons, explosive sales or products, anything along those lines. They don't really like the weight loss products as well. And then this is a big one here where it's the terms of use and privacy policy. We had a site that a good looking site that had been around for a while, and we went to put the retargeting on there and we got disapproved, and this is why. And so in the advanced training, we talk about different services that you can use, different products that you can use to get these privacy policies and terms of use created. But basically the bottom line is that your site just needs to be working and complete and functional. No errors, no coming soon, no under construction or anything along those lines. And if you fit into all this criteria, then retargeting is a great option. And see you guys on the next video. So in this video I want to show you guys how to create a retargeting list. And so from right here we're inside the dashboard and we just hover over manage, and you have retargeting lists, which will be a screen of basically all your lists. And so if we're going to just hit create list, and then from creating the list you want to give it the name, and that's the name you'll see inside of here. So we'll just say demo, and then as far as the days, that's the amount of days that people will be on that list. The most is 90, so we're going to go ahead and say 90. If you're running an ad through retargeting that's going to end in 7 days, of course you don't want to run the 90 days, and so on. Kind of case by case basis there as far as how many days. And then we get here, which is basically the different kinds of retargeting that you can do inside of this. So here is the path, and if we just wanted to do the entire domain, then we can just do the wildcard, which will pick up everything in that domain. Some other ways of retargeting are the query string, which is basically a word inside the URL, and you can also use it when doing AdWords. Then they have actions, which is something that we'll dive deeper into in the advanced version, actions and segmenting, which is basically you can cookie people that have done an action on your website. Like say they fill out your contact form and they're now on the thank you page. They signed up to download something. You can cookie people that have downloaded things. If you're e-commerce and they have a bunch of products in their shopping cart, I mean you can cookie them there and kind of catch that shopping cart abandonment. They've already bought through you, they've gone through the checkout process, and they're now on the thank you page. You can cookie people that have bought from you, and so it's really a way of breaking up the traffic to your website and speaking individually to each one of those demographics. Email retargeting, which is basically you're cookieing people that open your emails, and so this is extremely powerful, and this is right in line with our Target Echo software. So you can use that to set up your email signatures, which will allow you to cookie people. But basically anybody that opens up your email is going to get cookied and go on that list. So it's great for prospecting and existing clients, and if you have a company big enough to have different departments, you can start kind of creating different lists. I mean, as far as if you have a sales department, a business development department, and a client management department, you build those different lists and show each one of those demographics a different ad. And so that's kind of like a broad overview of the different types of retargeting you can do. And so for this one, we just have the demo for 90 days, and we have the wildcard, which will be cooking everybody that comes to the website. And so now we just hit create. So upon clicking that, you're brought to this page, which is a list of the different retargeting lists that you have, and you can see as they start building traffic and cooking people, you will see the graphics stretch out across here. Another way to get to this page is just under manage, and then retargeting list will bring you right back to here. From here you can create another list, or you can create a list right there. See you guys in the next video. In this video I want to talk to you about your smart pixel setup, which is basically putting the code on your website. So to get there, it's just under manage and then site tracking tag. And this is kind of the same of putting Google Analytics on your website, or kind of putting any kind of code that interacts with another site on your website. But basically this is the script right here, and if you're using HTML, then you'll kind of have to plug this into each one of your pages. If you only want to retarget on certain pages, then you can just put it on those certain pages. If you're using WordPress, there is a plugin for it. You can download that plugin straight from here, or you can get that from the WordPress network. And then there is also a Drupal plugin, so they make it very easy for those two. But this is the code that you had to put on there in order for your site to interact with Perfect Audience, start cooking people, and start building those lists for you. And so if you guys are doing the HTML version, it's just a matter of copying this and putting it before the closing of the body tag on your pages. The WordPress and Drupal both ask for your site ID, and that is right here. This one's blurred out, but basically it's numbers and letters, and it's just a matter of copying and pasting that inside each one of those plugins, and it'll activate it throughout your site and link it to this Perfect Audience account. See you guys in the next video. In this video, I want to talk to you about ad creation, which is the last step in basic retargeting. We got your account set up. We now have the tracking script on your website that is talking to your account. It's cooking people. It is creating those lists. And then we have the single list set up to where it is making a list of everybody that comes to your website. And so now we just have to wait for it to serve 1,000 cookies. And you kind of see this up here, and that's where it starts. So once you have a list of 1,000 cookies, then we just go to manage, and then we go to manage ads, and that brings us to this screen where we can create our first ad. And so here we have the option to do Facebook ads, which would be on the right hand side of Facebook, and then we have the news feed ads, which is also the other side of Facebook. And it's a little more expensive if you go through here, and that's why we have the section specifically on Facebook. And if you do it through Facebook, you don't have to wait for that 1,000 cookies. And so it's kind of good to set it up in both places, depending on what your product or service is, and have those ads serving in Facebook. And then once you hit 1,000 here, it can serve throughout the rest of the internet and through Perfect Audiences network. And so I mean, we have these two for Facebook right here. And then we have the dynamic product ad, which is basically e-commerce, and we'll go further into that in the advanced version. But what I wanted to show you guys is this banner ad here. So for banner ad creation, we're going to have to put the name here, what we want to call the ad, and then we'll need the destination URL. And so that's where on the site you want to send them. If it's a certain place on your website, if you're having a sale or special or something along those, you're doing a webinar, you want to drive them there, then you could put that destination URL. If you want to drive them to a landing page, then of course you got to put the URL of that landing page. And then if you're using custom tracking software such as Google Analytics, then you can click this and add the UTM parameters to track inside of Google Analytics or whatever tracking software you're using. And so it's these two parts, and then it's the ads themselves. And I mean, you can see over here to the right that we have the different dimensions of the ads that you need. It's basically the three, and this fourth one has been added for Facebook, but basically it's the skyscraper, the block, and then the banner ad. As far as getting these ads created, if you have a local graphic designer or website designer that you've been working with and you like the quality of their work, by all means use them. Outside of that, there is a couple services listed below here that we have found they deliver high quality ads for a reasonable price. And then a third option is that we will start offering a done for you service where we actually run all of this for you, and you don't have to worry about any of it. But let's say you already got your ads created and you come in here to upload them. We just want to put the whatever we're calling this ad, we'll just call it demo. We want to put the destination URL here, and then we want to upload that photo. And so once that ad is uploaded, then it's just a matter of coming down here and clicking upload and submit for review. And that they say 24 hours, allow them 24 hours to review it and approve it, but it's happened for us a lot quicker than that. So I guess it really just depends on how backed up they are in the review process. See you guys on the next video. Hey, this is Andrew Hill again, and in this video I want to talk to you guys about list segmenting. And so let me show you exactly how segmenting works inside AdRoll. We just set up our account, so we want to go into segment visitors, and then you want to write the name of the segment and then the URL path that it's at, and then you want to do the duration. And I recommend just leaving the duration at 90 days right now, and then you want to hit save. So I mean, the first one we want to do, let's say that we have a store on the back of our website, and then here that path might just be dash store. And then we have the option to use the wildcard or not. And so this one we will not use the wildcard. We'll just put another backslash there, and then we will say save. And that would be one segment. Let's make another one. If we had a shopping cart or something, we'd say shopping cart. And then here that URL might just be backslash shopping cart. Make sure that you get the URL right. And so then we'll have 90 days as well, and then we'll hit save. And that is how you set up segments inside of AdRoll. And I recommend as soon as you set up AdRoll, set up your segments. And you want to segment every page that has products on it. You want to segment different categories. You want to segment every page that has a call to action on it. If you have a blog and you're trying to achieve something on the blog, you can segment all the blog pages. You basically want to break down, and that's how you set up segments. See you guys on the next video. Hey, this is Andrew Hill again, and in this video I want to talk to you guys about setting up conversion goals and tracking conversions. And so a conversion could be an email sign up, it could be a contact form submission, it could be a newsletter opt-in, it could be an application completion, it could be an account registration, it could be the downloading of a white paper, it could be lead page forms, or it could be an online purchase. And so basically to do the conversion, and this is really where you track the ROI on your ads and make sure that it's really working out for you. So we go to tracking conversion, and here we just set up the conversion. So we'll just say email sign up for this one. And then if that email sign up was just thank you, then we would just say backslash thank you. And you want to make sure that you get that extension right. If it's .html, then of course you'd want to put .html there. And then we have duration. I keep that at 90 days right now. And then we want to click this button right here, which is count this as a conversion. And so then we want to put a value to what that conversion is. So let's say that we have an email sign up, and we know that out of every 10 people that sign up for that, we can convert 30% of that. So we'll convert 3 of those people, and out of that, those people will spend X amount of dollars. So we break it down and we say that each sign up is worth $10 to us. So we will say $10 here as the worth of that conversion, and then we will say save. And that is how we set up a conversion goal. Very important to track your ROI. See you guys on the next video. Hey, this is Andrew Hill again, and in this video I want to show you guys how to generate reports inside AdRoll. And so here we are in the main dashboard, and we just go over here to generate report, and that will allow us to generate a report for any campaign that we have running. So we just say here we can click any of those campaigns, and then we can put a start date, a finish date, and then we can click here what we want that report to be on. So if we want it to be a campaign summary, campaign performance, ad performance, site performance, and this is very important to keep track of this data and continuously A/B test your ads. Make sure that your conversion rates are high, and make sure that the ROI is worth spending the ads on it. See you guys on the next video.
Hey everyone, it's Josh Lannon here again with Retarget Master, and today we're going to take a little bit of a detour and talk a little bit about anatomy of a proper retargeting ad. I wanted to get into this before we actually went into the ad creation module, because I think that it's important to have an understanding of the mindset and the ideas behind creating a proper ad, especially as it pertains to retargeting, which is a much different animal than a standard Facebook ad. So we're going to we're going to do a quick module here, just kind of go into the pieces that make up a great ad. And then we're going to, in the next video, jump into the actual mechanics of creating the ad itself. So let's go ahead and just take a look at an ad really quick. This is actually when I first started making the transition from being a generalist agency to being somebody who specializes in Facebook ads and more specifically retargeting. I personally went out there and did a lot of research to see who was doing it the right way within this space, and especially in parallel to some of the brands and some of the clients that we had at the time. And one of them that I found was this one here, and we started using it as a template for our team to be able to create these ads, to create specifically retargeting ads, and we still use it today. So I thought it'd be a great foundation and blueprint for the Retarget Master training. So we're just going to go into the components that make up this ad, and I will say this, that this is really from Josh's experience. This isn't something that I've learned from any other specialists or gurus or anything like that. This is just from us, a lot of trial and error, and a lot of some of this seems very commonsensical, if that's a word, but it also is something that we've gone in, split tested, tried, used, and these best practices that I'm about to go over are the ones that have outperformed everything else that we've done. And again, just keep in mind, this is a retargeting ad. It's not just a general ad in Facebook. There's a different mentality. People are already aware of you. And so what we're doing is saying, hey, we're not trying to do any tricky stuff, try to pull you in with any kind of smoke and mirrors. We're just saying, hey, you've come, you've checked us out, come back, we'll give you a deal, and here's why you should do it. Here's why we're giving you the deal, and here's the time frame. Let's do business. So hope that makes sense to you guys. We're going to go over it in a little bit more detail right now. So the first piece I want to talk about is the promo code, and we've tested out, doing just direct to a discounted offer, doing a direct to a coupon offer where you have to take it through email and then use the coupon, and also direct through promo code. And promo code seems to outperform, and the reason I think that is because it adds a layer of legitimacy to the offer. It's like a coupon, but in the days of Amazon and eBay and all these other kind of behemoths online, that coupon code or that promo code really makes sense. I like to call it a promo code rather than a coupon code, but that's just personal preference. I think you could get away with both. When it comes to the promo code, though, they put it in early. They do use all caps. I always recommend you do it all caps. Make it something that's easy to remember, and make it something that's relevant to the offer. If it's a holiday code, maybe it's holiday 20 off or something like that. That would be a little long. I like what they did here with Karma 10, but you don't have to worry about someone reverse engineering your discount code or promo code system, because if people are trying to figure out what your promo codes are, at least they're trying to buy. I know some people that have gotten really worried about, oh, what if someone figures out how I'm setting up my promo codes? The way I see, you're putting too much time and effort into worrying about the wrong stuff. Just create a nice, easy to use, fairly short, all caps. I do like it being relevant to the offer. So this one being 10% off, they put 10 in the code. And it's as simple as that. The next thing we talk about is scarcity. And they do a really good job in this one, just right after the promo code, within the next 24 hours. And that scarcity could be one of two things. It could be time scarcity, which they use here, or it could be availability. We recently had a campaign that we were doing that we literally ran out of inventory for a little while. And so our retargeting was, inventory's back in stock. We have X amount available for the next X amount of these. We kind of did a hybrid of the two. It was more kind of before the holidays and while we could still deliver for the holidays, we have X amount of inventory, and when it's gone for the rest of the year. And so those types of things are kind of where your mindset should be as far as scarcity. And then finally, the offer itself. They then come in right with the direct offer, 10% off. We like talking about three things when we talk about the offer, but there's other options out there. But a direct percentage or dollar off discount, a free gift. When you buy, you get this, or shipping, free shipping specifically. So if it is a physical product you're going to be shipping out, free shipping can be relevant. Clearly, if it's a service or something that's not a physical product, you can find other things rather than shipping that are sometimes it's a bundle that makes sense. One other thing I would say here too is that you should have a mind for cycling these offers out, because with retargeting, the banner blindness sets in much quicker, basically because it's typically a smaller audience and they're getting higher frequency of the ads. And so make sure that you're at least cycling out the headline, the images, but I like to cycle out the offer itself too. So we'll do a discount for X amount of time, and then we might actually take some time off. And then the next piece we'll do a free gift, and then we'll take that, a couple days off from that, and then we'll bring in the free shipping. And doing it that way, as well as cycling out the images, we find that we can combat banner blindness in a very effective way. And then the other piece of it then is the image. The image itself is so important. I like to say that the image is more important than any headlines. In these types of ads, the image kind of is the headline. I like what they do here. I like to show the product in use or the service in use. So in this case, they're selling, bracelets and necklaces and kind of a lifestyle. And so it shows a pretty girl on the beach wearing the bracelets, wearing the necklace. And if it was something like a chiropractor or a massage or something like that, I might show, somebody getting a massage rather than, just showing the bracelet or just showing a masseuse standing next to a table or something like that. So I hope that makes sense. It's pretty common, but I just want to make sure I called that out. The other piece here, as I say, ideal image, it doesn't mean the ideal image of the product. It means you're kind of getting in the mind of your end user, of your customer or client, and you're saying, what is their ideal image that they want to portray by using this product or getting this service. For something like this, again, it's the pretty girl on the beach, the carefree lifestyle, very clearly, a lot of people that buy these items probably don't look like this girl, but that's the ideal image, and that's the ideal just kind of an overall. If it's somebody, for the massage example, you want to see somebody really relaxed and in a comfortable environment. So just keep those things in mind. Again, not reinventing the wheel here, but important to have that as part of your checklist. Then the CTA button. With the CTA buttons, when it comes to regular Facebook ads, I'm a little on the fence about them. They work sometimes, and other times they don't seem to work as well. But when it comes to retargeting ads, I absolutely recommend them. Again, at this point, we're not trying to trick anybody or do anything fancy. We're just trying to get them to come back and buy. And so why not just call it as it is? Put the shop now, or if shop now doesn't apply, sometimes I notice when we're doing some certain things, shop now isn't quite there. Maybe we're taking them to a video to take them a little bit farther down the road before they buy, or to just a long tail sales page or something like that. If that's the case, learn more sometimes makes more sense. It also has to do with, this is obviously a very salesy message, 10% off, promo code, 24 hours only, that type of stuff. Just tell them to shop, tell them to click and shop. If it's something that's a little bit more obscure or vague, then maybe go with learn more or download or something like that, depending on what you're doing. But bottom line is, when it comes to retargeting, use the CTA button. It's always worked. It's always outperformed for me. There might be people that have different outcomes, but that's the other thing about this isn't the end all be all. This is just what's worked for us the most. And do your own testing and split testing and see what works for you guys. So then moving on, the headline. It's a big one. Within these ads, the headline really should just call out the offer in my book. So call out the offer. They do a great job here, 10% off. When I say be specific in the headline, if they were talking about 10% off all shirts in the line, or maybe all yoga shirts or something like that, then I would call that out specifically. And I wouldn't just say 10% off at Dharma Shop. I would say 10% off all yoga shirts or all necklaces or whatever it might be. In this case, it's just kind of a blanket 10% off everything at the shop. And so they do a good job here of being as specific as they can. I might have even said 10% off everything at Dharma Shop or something like that, even to call it out even more specifically. And then finally, the description. I really like that in this ad they say why. They tell why they're giving you that deal. Even though it's something as innocuous as just to say thanks, it might be that, hey, you came and visited our website, and to say thanks we want to. Or it might be for, like I said, right now we're in the midst of the holidays. It might be for the holidays we wanted to give you this deal. Or it might be that they're actually bought from you and this is a buyer list, retargeting list. And so you could say, hey, for everybody who bought this, or for everybody who participated in our contest, or whatever it might be, we wanted to give you this additional deal. And that's really effective because it really calls out the audience. They're like, yeah, I did buy that, or I did take part in their contest or their survey or whatever it might be. And in doing that, you really start to amp up your click-through rate and your overall conversion rate. And then also within your description, repeat the scarcity and repeat the offer. So here they do a great job, 10% off, use the promo code 24 hours, and then they even drop in 10% off again. It's a little redundant, but hey, they've got 10% off in this thing, I think 4 times. And so they're not messing around. They're really calling out the offer. Why not? And clearly it's working for them. A couple other things that are just kind of pieces that I sometimes point out when looking at this ad. When I love to use people in the images. Whenever I can get away with people, I do rather show a person wearing the bracelet than just the bracelet itself, right? But I also like the people looking directly out from the ad. In this case, they have a woman looking off to the side. And in the case of women looking off to the side, it works here because I think that they're trying to call out the bracelet. So as she's looking off to the side, she's kind of looking towards the bracelets, and that's calling out the product a bit more. You can also do that same thing with text. They could have actually put 10% off in the image using the 20% text rule, which is kind of complicated, 10% off using the 20%. But you guys know what I mean if you've ever made Facebook ads. You can, if somebody's looking off up to the left, to the right, whatever it might be, if you actually put the offer text there, it also draws people into that headline within the text. And then finally, down here at the very bottom where it says www.dharmashop.com, I've always felt like that was just a waste of space. Even though, it does give legitimacy to your website and a little bit of branding there, I always felt that, hey, they have dharmashop.com up here. If you really want to put it somewhere within the ad, it's also up here. It's the name of it. So down here, what I like to do if you're making these ads within Power Editor, and this is just kind of an advanced tip, is I like to actually put hurry, sale in soon, or hurry, sale ends December 31st, 2014, or offer ends at this time or date, offer only good for X amount of days, whatever it might be. In this case, maybe, hurry, offer only good for the next 24 hours. It calls out that scarcity one last time. It's kind of like the PS within an email. And so it's worked for me again and again. If you guys do make your ads within Power Editor, consider using that for the description URL. So that's it in a nutshell. Hope you guys liked it. Hope it was helpful. I do like to have just this general kind of blueprint when I create ads, where I have my team create these ads. And so I will also make this a downloadable PDF underneath this video so that you guys can then download it, hand it off to your outsourcers, hand it off to your assistant, have it in front of you on your board when you're creating these ads. Like I said, though, it's nice to have these little pieces to, again, none of this is really ground shaking information, but it's nice to be able to have a full rounded blueprint or plan for your ads and be able to refer back to it again and again. So we'll make sure we get that underneath the video. Hope this helps. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next video where we dive into creating some ads. Thanks so much. See you then. Hey everyone, it's Josh Lannon again, and today we're going to be talking a bit about creating your ads within the native Facebook ad creation tool. And so let's go ahead and jump into this. Of course, this is just the home page of your Facebook page, and on the left-hand side here towards the top, you'll see this little icon that says Ads Manager. Go ahead and click on that to get started. I like to come in through the Ads Manager. There's also a little Create Ad button down below on that same left-hand side, but I like to come into and work directly out of Ads Manager. For the most part, I do a lot of my ads within Power Editor, but we're not going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about the native Facebook Ads tool, which you can find right up here in the upper right-hand corner when you click Create Ad. There's also a couple other things on this left side toolbox here that I like to look into. Of course, my audiences, and you can actually create your ad directly through your audience, and we'll show you how to do that in just a minute. The Power Editor, I mentioned, conversion tracking is huge, and we're going to have another module later on about conversions and reporting. And speaking of reporting, the reports right here. That's definitely a piece of the Facebook tool set that I use a lot. And then Audience Insights is also a cool way to target your audience, but we won't get into that in this training. So going up to this little button up at the top, we'll go ahead and click on Create Ad, and it'll take us to the creation tool. And within the creation tool, it gives you a lot of options based on what you want the end result to be, basically what you want to optimize for. So if you want to send people to your website or increase conversions to your website, these top two are probably the most popular two out of all these different options we have for ads. But we also often do boosted posts, of course, promotions of posts on our page. And then also with our clients, with our local clients, we're oftentimes, or at least sometimes, doing attendance to your event or claim your offer. Facebook Offers is really powerful for local, and I've used it several times to get new leads for my clients. So anyways, let's go ahead and just assume that we're going to do send people to the website, since that's a popular one. And I'm just going to use, since we kind of use something like this in our example of creating an ad, I'm going to use coolbuddhist.com, if I can spell Buddhist. And then we're going to name the campaign, and I'm going to actually name this a little different. I know I always refer to Cool Buddhist as CB, so we'll put CB retarget. And then I like to kind of call out the time frame if I can, if it makes sense. If it's not going to be something that's evergreen, I like to keep it as website clicks, because down the road I'll change it to conversions and then buyer conversions. And so this here custom audience here is where we have the opportunity to choose our audience, and there right at the top is our very tiny Cool Buddhist retargeting pixel. It only has 600 people in it, so it's not ideal. I always say that in a perfect world you want to have over 1,000 people in any given targeting, but in this case we'll roll with it since we're using Cool Buddhist as the example. So then what we have here, you can always do layered targeting. So you could do a group within a group. And I think it's really important to do that if you can have better kind of laser focus on it. And so if let's say for the sake of argument that Cool Buddhist was a 20,000 people within our retargeting audience, within that audience, we could then say, okay, I have a product that really is for women that are over 50 years old, that that their purchase behavior might be clothing, or might be online purchases or something like that. So you can really dig down into the audience even more so. But because we have such a small audience here, any audience less than 1,000 or a couple thousand, I would consider just shooting it out to the entire audience. You're gonna have good conversion, you're gonna have good click-throughs. And so just keep that in mind. If you have a larger audience, don't be afraid to delve a little bit deeper into the targeting here from the interest and behaviors. The other thing I wanted to talk about is how much you want to spend. So let's just say, for sake of argument, that we want to spend $20 a day and we have a budget of $100. A lot of people would change this per day to $20. What I like to do is to run it as a lifetime budget of $100 and run it for 5 days. And so we change this over to 100. So now we have a $100 total budget, and we're going to run it for 5 days. Today being the 20th, we'll end it on the 25th. You can also change what time. The nice thing is they just kind of automatically input the time it is right now. And then it tells me, how long my ad will run and how much my total budget is. And then here, and the reason I do that, just to let you guys know, is I found that you get better deliverability, and we seem to get just better results overall. And also, our ad seems to be shown to more people, meaning that the frequency is well spread. And so if we have X amount of people within our audience, in this case it's so small, but if we had 10,000 people within our audience and it was spread across, the more people within that audience would see it rather than the same people seeing it over and over again. That's again just a personal thing that we've noticed in our testing. You guys are welcome to do the daily budget, but a lot of the big guys, and I know they're out there doing it, they also recommend doing lifetime budgets, the guys that are spending lots and lots and lots of money online. So I tend to defer to them. And so then beyond that, we also have our optimize for clicks. And with the optimization for clicks, you can do website clicks, regular optimization, and optimization for impressions. There's different times when you might want to consider doing all of these things. If you have really, really high click-throughs and really, really target audience, and the offer is just amazing, you might tend to go for impressions, because you're going to get better click-throughs and better numbers based on that. Optimized for clicks is just going to be a general any click on the ad. So you're not getting charged for every time someone comes to your website. You're getting charged for every time someone likes it, clicks to find out about the page. And so you'll be getting, let's say it's 30 cents per click, but it might take 4 clicks before somebody gets to the website. So that would be $1.20 per website click. So I hope that makes sense. A lot of times we really just want people to come to the website, so we will just keep it as optimized for website clicks. But there's also some benefit to checking out the optimize for clicks. What I like to do actually is to click on optimize for clicks and go down to manually set your maximum bid. And it gives me an idea of what Facebook imagines the bid per click should be. With this, I almost always go a bit over the suggested bid. So for this, I might take it up to like 31 cents. Or maybe even more, just to get the juices flowing, because you really want to get that ad started to be sent out. And so with this, there's oftentimes, if I really want to make sure that the ad starts to run right away, I'll actually go to optimize for clicks, and I'll do something crazy here, like, it's recommending 25, I'll do 101 or something like that, and then just place that bid and see how it works. You can also, do it a couple different ways. You can do one this way, one optimized for website clicks, and then in doing that, you just have 2 different ad sets, or maybe even 2 different campaigns if you like to keep them separate that way. Feel free to test this out. A lot of people I work with, we just do optimize for website clicks, and what that means is Facebook will determine what the best price is. But it never hurts to test. So hey, I always recommend, when in doubt, test. So if you wanted to create one campaign that was optimized for website clicks, another for clicks, see how they work out, start to get some conversions, and then go from there. I'm going to go ahead and change the ad set name to CB Retarget. That one, 25% off. And then this option allows us to put in a bunch of different images if we want to test out those images within the ad set or within the ad itself. So we create a bunch of different images and it'll test those out. I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm going to browse out to my library and pick an image. So we're just going to do this 25% off image. You can also search and use some Shutterstock stock photography if you don't already have an image set out. They have a lot of good stuff there that is free to use as long as you just use it within your ads. And then if I also didn't like the way that the ad was imaged, I can drag and reposition it within the ad frame. But we have this one preset to fit in the newsfeed wide angle. So there's our images, but you could test out several different images here, or you could break it out by different ad sets and test the different images directly. And then what text do you want to be in your ads? This is where we actually write out the copy. It pulls in some general copy from your page, but of course we want to change that. So we're going to choose Cool Buddhist. So we have Cool Buddhist here as our Facebook page that we're going to be sponsoring the ad from. And then here within the headline, based on what we talked about in our previous training on the anatomy of an ad, I'm just going to go very, very similar to that. So here I'm going to put 25% off yoga shirts as our headline. For our text above the image, I'm going to put 24-hour sale. Use promo code. I'm going to choose a button that is shop now, because we're calling it direct out. We want them to take out their credit card and spend some money with us. And then also if you hit advanced options, you get newsfeed link description. I always recommend you use that. So what we've done here is we've done, again, scarcity, 24-hour sale. Use promo code. We input our promo code. It's for yoga shirts and it's 25% off. So that's pretty easy. Yoga 25 to save 25% off. That's our offer of our newest yoga shirts, and that's our specific thing that's on sale. And then down below in the headline, we again call out the offer, which is 25%, and we're specific. It's not just 25% at Cool Buddhist, it's 25% off yoga shirts. And then we also, in our description, our link feed, newsfeed description, we put in why we're doing it. And in this case, it's due to popular demand. That's our reason. It could be because New Year's coming up and, people are getting in shape or whatever it might be, but we have a reason for doing it. Another, again, going back to the anatomy, a great reason would be, since you've visited our website, we wanted to give you an additional 25% off. It makes them realize that they are being retargeted, but it also gives them reason to come back and yeah, I was on the website and it did look cool. And so then we want to call out the offer again and give them a call to action. Get yours today, leads right into the shop now. And so I hope that makes sense. That's a nice little retargeting ad that we've created there. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose a pixel. This is just an old pixel, but we want to make sure that we're tracking when people land on the page. And so this is a old yoga sale pixel that we had, but you definitely want to make sure, anytime you can use conversion tracking, you want to make sure you are using it. It allows us to build out more audiences. It allows us to do a lot of things to determine if the ad's being successful, to give reporting back to our clients. And so we're going to get into conversion tracking in advance, but just want to make sure if you guys have preset pixels on your landing pages, make sure you're using those. And so then we're just going to go down to place order, which is at the bottom here. Click on that. And our order has been placed. We can create a similar ad or we can go from there. And then if we go back here to audiences, I wanted to show you where we can create that same ad using the audiences. So as we pull this up, we have our cool B retarget ad right there, our audience right there. And if I click on that and then click up above on create ad right here, takes us directly back to the ads tool. We click on send people to our website in coolbuddhist.com. It already has our custom audience inside of the retargeting audience within the custom audience section. So it just kind of helps us create that direct. You could click on several of those and create an ad, and it would drop all of those within this custom audience. So that's the, the 101 version of how to create an audience within the native ads Facebook tool. We will continue on in the next video talking about how to do some tracking and reporting for your clients. And then also, like I mentioned before in our advanced training, there is some additional ads creation advanced concepts and strategies where we also go into the Power Editor to create some ads. Power Editor is very nice because it gives us some additional tools, some additional options that we don't have. We can actually call out longer text, and we can do some interesting stuff with our setup. So thanks again for letting me walk you through the ads process here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial, which is about how to do tracking and reporting. See you in that video.